Okay, good morning, everyone. I'm Cassandra Cast.
I'm Jackie Cameron.
And so this is we're in season 2 of Her Journey. And the Her stands for healing, evolving, and redefining your journey as women, because things change, every 5 years or so, you have a whole different outlook on things. So today is a very special guest. I love this woman from the time that I met her in Omaha, Nebraska. She was always a go-getter. She just, oh my goodness. And I remember so many things that she's done and started. She's an attorney. Her husband's an attorney. All 3 of her children are attorneys. One's a judge. And there are just so many aspects of her life. And I feel like she just keeps reinventing herself and just keep moving the goalposts. And so I really wanted her on to show people, no matter what your age, you can continue to dream and create new, different things. So that's what I love about her, but I am going to let her introduce herself, and then we'll get into the nitty-gritty of things.
Well, thank you, Cassandra and Jackie, for having me. I am so honored to be on the program today. Fighting a little cold. This is day 19, but hopefully it'll go away. But let me just say just a little bit about myself. As Cassandra said, I was raised in Omaha, Nebraska, to 2 loving parents, and I got to know her parents, loving parents as well, kind of the same thing. And we grew up together. I don't know if I'm married. I've been married to my husband for 45 years now. We have 3 children and we have 7 grandchildren that
Oh,
I
wow.
adore. I hid out here. I'm in my bedroom because they're here today. So I didn't want to go into any other room because they would be running all over the place. So with that, it's not, yeah, I went to school in Omaha. I ended up going to law school. After law school, I got a LLM in energy, environmental, and natural resources law. That's a master's of law. I started a company, Legal Watch, and we train corporate executives, how to stay out of court, news, and jail. And then, as life would have it, my parents got really sick, and I think it was July 26, 2018. They said my dad had like 6 months to live. So I moved him here and, tried to get him to the best doctors. They were having some health challenges. And with that, my dad lasted another 3 years, thank God. My
Nice.
mom went before him, just a little bit before him, That's
Yeah.
how it kind of happens sometimes. But the beauty in that was all of my life, my goal was, we're lawyers, of course, and we see so much happening with our youth, and they often fall victim to the criminal justice system because they don't know the law. And what happened is, some time ago, we had this case where it was this young kid. He was clearly a great kid, raised right, and some of his friends, we all have some knucklehead friends sometimes. They wanted to go break into somebody's house, and even that they were going to get PlayStation, just little silliness. And
Yeah.
he says to them, he says, nope, I'm not going to do it because, first of all, my mother would kill me. And secondly, I don't want to lose my scholarships because he was in sports and he had some scholarships to some Ivy League schools. So he said, I don't want to, I'm not going to participate. But what he did do is just think of a line where you're at the top of the line, the top of the L, and he lives at the bottom of the L. But let's think of it as a T, where um, he's at the top of they're at the top of the T, I mean, top of the back and forth on the L. But think of the bottom of that T. That's where the house that these kids were going to break in because it was somebody that was on vacation, nobody at home, no big and biggie. So he drives them to the intersection of on the L, intersection of the T. He just drops them off,
Yeah.
thinking, I'm not going to help y'all with that crime.
Right.
As life would have it, he gets charged because he aided and abetted him. He helped him. And that played on my mind so much because it was clearly a situation where the guy, he was saying, I'm not going to do this. He didn't have
Yes.
any idea he was committing a crime
Right.
and he could
Mhm.
get the same thing that he got. So going into that story, that impressed upon me at that time is I started thinking, where do our kids learn the law? We don't learn it in
Mhm.
school. We don't learn it at home. And
Mhm.
if we don't have, I mean, we don't learn it at church. And if you don't have a family in the house, you don't learn it at home.
So
So
true.
that's when I started thinking we need to educate our kids on the law. So when my
Yes.
parents were sick, I ended up quitting my job or stopping my company. The first year I kept it going pretty good. But then I
Mhm.
started thinking, no regrets. They were very sick, both of them
Yeah.
time. It was just challenging. So, but that was God's gift to me to do that game.
Yeah.
And I created a game that educates our kids on the law. I just rolled out. We actually was on Roland Martin's show last week and kind of proud of
Nice.
that. But that's a little bit about me. My cause is just really trying to get our kids out of there, keep them out the criminal justice system. And
Yes.
even though everybody can learn from that game, my focus is our youth, 13 to 36, with an emphasis on males, because those are the
Mhm.
ones that fall victim because their profile so much more and
Yes.
they don't get any kind of positive, kind of look. It's always
Mhm.
something negative about our Black young men. So with that,
Yes.
that was the introduction. I'm sure it was a whole lot longer than you expected, but it kind of cut out some other stuff because I kind of said a lot. Okay.
Wow.
That kind of describes who you are. I don't know if you had a chance to review some of the questions.
I
Um,
did. I did. And
did.
old as I am, as I would say, I had to think about those questions a lot. It was like, whoa. It was, it's like run of the mill questions, sort of, but not,
Yeah.
because it takes a lot to really think. And I thought those were some excellent questions.
Well, this was God's gift to her. She had this and
Mhm.
she got inspired. And we just it and that's the thought behind it, to provoke some thoughts into it, into so that everybody gets a chance to see that everybody has different relations and different things, and this what may affect this woman may not, and another one may take it in a different way. So that's
I
what our
agree.
whole process of trying to do this. And so
Before we jump in though, can I just make a comment? I
Sure.
love your introduction. That's amazing. And do we have, you may talk about this later, is there exposure to find out about this game so that we can like I have some young men in my life that could benefit from this. Oh, you have it?
I do have it.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, I do have it. So
Thank you.
maybe we can get together and have a little thing so that we can all play it.
Okay, I didn't know if it was something you can
Church
purchase.
games,
It is.
family night games, get into
Yes.
the hands of our youth wherever and however
Yes.
we can.
Yeah, because it's a general game, which and it's not just statewide in a certain specific state. It's basic laws, right? That they need to know and understand. Because I remember my son when he got out, oh, I know this and I got this, and the police can't do this. I'm just like, you don't know that. You don't what? They get their information from each other, and it's
Yeah.
all messed up from each other. And of course, they always have to try and make it look like they did everything right and everybody else was wrong. When in real reality, you need to know the real basics of what it is. So I just
Absolutely.
love that. I just think that's so important. But like I said, Jean has always been a big influence to me. She started the Big Sisters Club at my church for the young ladies to come, and that was really powerful. I think that really helped out a lot of us that were a little bit younger than her. She always had that insight to do, and then she created the Miss Youth for Christ pageant. I was in the
You
Miss
remember
Youth for
all
Christ pageant one year. Oh my God. It was wonderful. I mean, we had it down at one of the colleges, there,
Oh, wow.
music and arts. It was really a big thing, and
Nice.
it was wonderful. It was a wonderful experience. I'd never been in anything like that before. And Jean put all of that together. Like she has the
Wow.
foresight and the forethought to do that.
Multifaceted.
Yes, multifaceted. So in looking back at all of that, one of the questions was, my purpose in life is, what do you think that is?
My purpose in life, honestly, is I think it's just to be a servant leader, and
Yeah.
I know that's crazy. And it's depressing at the same time. And let me tell you why I said this. It's going to answer another one of
Mhm.
your questions. You talk about you have to be able to pour into other people or pour into
Yes.
your cup.
Mhm.
If it's
Yes.
empty, and my cup stays empty. And I say
Mhm.
that, and I'm going through this point in my life where I'm reflecting, and I'm
Mhm.
gonna say some things that you're probably not gonna expect. But one of them is, you know, my mother, when she was raised, because her mother died at such a young age, and people treated them so badly, she didn't think people helped them. And that's how she ended up, as you know, she was a mother to everybody. If they had a need,
Yes.
she was
Yeah.
buying clothes, even if they came from the Goodwill, whatever. And I remember one time I bought this outfit. I had my first job, and I went to Goldstein Chapman's and they don't
Oh,
even have it anymore. I got
no.
this outfit, and I wore that outfit at least once a week. I was so proud of it. And so one day I'm sitting in church and I look over, and somebody had on what looked like my outfit, and I'm sitting there like praying, Jesus, 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 please don't let my mom have given away my outfit. I didn't say anything. I got home from church. I ran up those stairs, and sure as day, it was gone. And I
Wow.
started crying. I'm having a fit. And my
Yeah.
mother says to me, y'all guys have everything and they don't have nothing. And y'all are so selfish, or I was so selfish. And I was like, I couldn't believe it. We ain't got nothing either. We get everything from the Goodwill. I don't know if we ever got anything from a regular store. But long and short of it, that impressed upon me. And all my life it's because I see people so selfish.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm a lawyer, right? And I do a lot
Mhm.
of pro bono work, and that's
Yeah.
when people that can't afford it, you try to help them out and don't charge them.
Mhm.
But it's a lot of things I don't have the expertise for. So I asked a friend, hey, could you help this person? Well, how much can they pay? And I look at them and I'm thinking, you don't even need the money. I don't understand this. And
Yeah.
I think we live in a life of people are just selfish. I mean,
Yes.
selfish. And because of that, I think I've overcompensated. And
Mhm.
I say that because at one time, and I definitely wasn't planning on saying this, I went to this therapist because my son told me it was a lady, he was in court, and some lady came in the office and his trial was holding over. So I told her, I can help you because I'm pretty versatile. And then by the end of it, I had wrote her this check for God knows, I just really I had gotten her car fixed. I had done so many just things. And then my son says, Mom. And then all my kids, he was telling people, and they said, Mom, you need to get help. And I started thinking about that. That was a little insane. Who does that? But it's like you get caught up in they
Yeah.
need you.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
so I go to this therapist, and this may help some of y'all. And she says to me, for the next 2 weeks, she wanted me to um, um, document everything I did just in general. So we get
Mhm.
there and I get to the meeting. She goes through my little planner, the thing, and I'm telling her about each episode. And at the end, she says, do you realize you did 17 things for people that could have done it for themselves? And it just
Mhm.
was like epiphany. I sat there and I thought to myself, wow, wow. And it wasn't that they even asked me to be honest about it. That was the sad thing. It would be a situation where somebody calls and I know what they're going to need is going to cost them a lot of money. And I'm thinking, well, I can just do this and help them out. They didn't got to waste that money. But then I was like, this is stupid because she said, when you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. You're saying
Mhm.
no to time for your family. You're saying no to going to the gym. You're saying no to, she just listed a lot of things that I was saying I hadn't had time to do.
Mhm.
So
Yes.
that was I still haven't, I'm not an overcomer, so don't think you don't, but I am better. I am
Yeah.
better because when people call and how I differentiate it, if it's a matter of money, I'm a send them to somebody else because
Yeah.
this is just gonna say, but if it's a matter of these kids need to eat, these kids need this, then
Yeah.
that's where I'm not so good. I try to where I can find other people to help, I do, but I'm not going to
Yes.
say I don't. And the sad thing,
Mhm.
I'm married to a man that's just the same way. So
Yeah.
we're not good for each other in that regard. But I can say that I am better than him now than I was.
Yeah.
But the lesson I wanted to say that y'all wasn't planning on is what made me think that I gotta change is when my mother was sick. I sat in that hospital, ladies, and I looked at her laying on that bed. And
Mhm.
then I thought about my husband's mom, who's 94,
Yeah.
another person laid up on the bed. And I
Mhm.
started thinking about one woman after the next in my life that's laid in the bed. And I look at the guys, and even though my dad had congestive heart failure, and even though that, if he was getting around, he was walking
Mhm.
around. My
Yeah.
husband's father is 100 years old. He walks
Yes,
around,
he is.
they get around. I start thinking about
Mhm.
all these men. And then I think about us women. We're superwomen. We have to do
Mhm.
everything. We
Yeah.
have to fill in every gap. It ain't that we have to. That's what we choose
Yes.
to
We
do.
do.
So
Yeah.
I look at the house, and you always wanted to be so tidy, so clean. I
Yes.
decided I'm gonna just let those dishes sit and see how long they're gonna sit before they get washed. And and bottom line, I decided I wasn't washing those dishes, and I brought it up. My husband went in there sure as and cleaned it because we enable them. We don't make
Yes.
them do that stuff.
Wow.
And that's when I decided that those are the kinds of things that I'm gonna do. And then I decided, but I used when I was young, I used to go on a strike as a married
Ah.
woman. When I didn't think I was getting treated, well, I ain't gonna say because I've never been treated badly, so I better not even try to go there. But when I felt like I was doing a little too much or the most or whatever, I would go on the strike for my things. I wouldn't do anything. And it always worked. Y'all can go on strikes. I'm telling y'all, if y'all go on a strike and you just, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. You get them to work. And my husband helps out when I need him. He's there. I've been sick. He comes every day with my little chicken noodle soup. He makes his little homemade soup.
Oh.
Go buy the chicken, makes my little hot lemon and tea, tells me to just lay in bed and do nothing, but I can't do that. Now I did it for the
Of
last three
course
days.
not.
I did it for the last 3 days because that cold wasn't going away, and it's because I was just still doing the most. But I know I'm long-winded, but I'm trying to say things at the end that can help. Women's
Yeah.
there.
Of
We
course.
we gotta we gotta slow down because we're gonna be the ones laying in that bed at the end
Yes.
of our life term and can't do anything.
Yes.
And I, I'm
Mhm.
I'm trying to I'm trying to do better. Now I'm 25% there, got 75% to go, so a long way. But
It's a
I'm
start.
telling you, I'm gonna
It's a
get
start.
there. I'm gonna get
Yeah.
there.
It's a start. Well, that kind of answers that question about what do you do? Self-care is not selfish, and how do you pour into an empty cup? And what do you do for yourself? So that kind of answered that question.
Yeah,
You need to start
nothing
taking care
yet,
of
but I'm gonna
yourself.
start.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Jackie always tells me, and I'm not there yet either. It just doesn't do that way. Um, and who is your biggest influencer or cheerleader in your life and why?
I'm gonna have to go back to my husband. That
Mm.
man, he
Yeah.
sees everything I do. I'm the best at it. If you let him tell it,
Yes,
it can be awful. But
it's true.
he's always, he's that little cheerleader. He's always
Yeah.
there. And don't let me go up for something and don't get it because they cheated. Something went wrong. When no, baby, I just wasn't the best I could have been for that one. That didn't have anything to do with them, but don't let him tell that story. Don't let him. But he is my biggest and greatest cheerleader out there.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
That's really good. Because you guys, were y'all teenagers or your early 20s when y'all
Yeah, we
met?
was 19. We got married, so that kind of
Hmm.
age.
And y'all
Nice.
had a serious wedding. You had like 12, 15 bridesmaids, but it
Wow.
was
25.
absolute because y'all
25.
both have a big
You
You
hear me?
family.
said
20.
25.
Yeah, you hear me say 25. Because
20.
I had to even get my husband the men. Well, it was because of church. Remember, we were so close to church, and I was a cheerleader, so I had to have my squad. So,
Yep.
so who do you say no to? So
Right.
I said, we can all, it's no limits on how many you can have for a wedding. So let's do this.
But it was great. It really was. It was absolutely beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful.
That's awesome.
And so in all of the things that you've done, I know now about myself, know what about myself. like over the course of the years?
You know, I'm relentless.
Yes.
I'm very passionate about everything
Yeah.
I do. If I'm not passionate about it, I'm not going to do it. I was on a board for the University of Nebraska Foundation. I was on this committee, and I called him before my term even expired, and I said, I don't have the passion, and I don't want to waste my time with things I don't have a passion for. Somebody talked me into being on this board, and I kind of didn't think I wanted to do with them, but they were talking about it was finance and the money and how you allocate where that money goes and all of that. But you don't, as one person, you don't do all of that. And I thought there's lives out there that needs to be saved, it not so much in the religious thing, but the crime and kids that just they're fatherless, motherless, and somebody's got to be there. And because of that, I don't have all the time in the world, but I try to focus where I need to be focused. And I wasn't wasting time flying back and forth for something I just had I just didn't have a commitment or a passion for.
Mhm. Oh, that's good. That's good.
I'm
Um,
resilient. My
absolutely.
favorite song used to be, and it still is, honestly, is "I Am Woman." I know that's kind of crazy because that's from Hella Reddy, but the words of that song was, "I am woman. Hear me roar, and numbers too
Yes.
big to ignore, because I know too much to go back to pretend." It says, "Yes, I'm wise, but it's wisdom born to pain. Yes, I paid the price,
Wow.
but look how much
Mhm.
I've gained. If I have to, I can do anything. I'm strong, I'm invincible, I'm woman. But the part I like is you can bend but never break me, because
Oh,
it only
yes.
serves to make me more determined to
Oh,
achieve my final goal. I've come back even stronger. I'm not a novice any longer, because you deepen the conviction in my soul. Yes, I'm wise, but it's wisdom born to pain." And do you know all my kids know that song? Because I say it all the time to them. You can bend,
mhm.
but never break me. And I believe
Yes.
that. You can do whatever, but you ain't gonna break me.
Wow,
Mhm.
that's amazing. That's
Mhm.
that's amazing. And I remember you had some amazing parents, and your mother was a mother to everybody. The babies in church, she put them right up here, pat them so they go to
Yeah.
sleep.
Everybody, all of our lives. And I saw my
Yeah,
kids going the way that I did. And I'm cautioning them because I'm tired all the
yeah,
time. It's
yeah.
like, and I'm like, what do I do for myself? And God, I better not get emotional, but I don't. I really don't. And it didn't even start getting to me until this time in my life. I look back, and my life has been for everybody. I've
Mhm.
never, I've never ever lived my life for me. I,
Yeah.
I don't want to
Yes,
cry,
no.
but I just haven't. And then I know that, but I just can't help it. I just feel
Mhm.
like when I said I'm a servant leader, I
Yes.
really think that's what God made for my life. But I gotta figure it out because
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
tired. I'm tired. I'm,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I just,
No.
No,
oh my God.
Gene, you've got to take some time for
I know.
yourself. I mean, I'm I seen that you guys have had amazing vacations. I saw the entire family, all your brothers and sisters, and everybody went to Dubai.
Mhm.
So the Lord has provided certain things, but even in that, you were probably making sure that everybody else was right, making sure that everybody else had what they needed to. But I'm like you, I just went on my 60th, my very first cruise at 60, my first real vacation at 60.
Wow.
I had never been on a cruise. Like the vacations, it was always on a shoestring budget when we went somewhere. But I went on a cruise. I was like, so I can eat all I want and I can do this and that and I can just relax. So I know exactly what you're saying. And I'm telling people now, don't wait till you're 60. Go enjoy. Yes, you have
I didn't do
children.
that. Now I do.
Make a way.
I get out. We just got back from travel. So I do some things, but even that I'm always over it. So even that I'm trying to make sure everybody have a good time. And I just
Yes,
think
yeah,
my
that's what I know.
vacation to me is going away and looking at the walls and
Yeah,
doing nothing. Just look at
nothing.
the walls. I don't need to travel. When I was at H.E.R, I traveled all over. Got married at 19 and we've been all over the world pretty much. So it's not even that, you know. So yeah, get out and travel. I think that's
Yeah.
good. But you know, I gotta figure something else out. I gotta figure it out.
Can I just speak to that? Listening to you is amazing, and having that servant leader heart, like God wired you like that. You know what I mean? And I ditto you, like always doing something for everybody else. Like I'm like, there's moments in my life I'm tired, and I'm starting to learn that no is a complete sentence. Because I would say no, but then I would have to tell you why I said no. And then I end up talking myself into doing
Back
it
into
after
it,
I
yeah.
said no, because now I feel guilty. And so starting to learn that no is complete sentence. And that self-care is as simple as something like start off with something small. We always think it has to be grand. Like, for me, it was like getting up before anybody else got up and having a cup of tea for 15 minutes, whether I sat in the window, listened to a song, read something, just that quiet time. And for me, my car is one of the greatest places that I get solitude. Sometimes I don't even listen to music sometimes. I'm like, I just need that quiet time. So even something small as having a cup of tea, going for a 15-minute walk, just being by
Recharge.
yourself. Because when you invest in that, and everybody else benefits around you from that too. And then they'll start to take note, like, okay, give me 15 minutes, block it out. But we gotta make time, like put it on our calendar, put it in your phone so you get a notification. 15, okay, my 15 minutes. I need to be in my room, or I need to go outside, sit on the porch, because that servant heart, I feel like you can't turn that off.
Yeah.
So you have to then learn how to set boundaries around it.
Yeah.
Because if you turn it off completely, it's not who you are authentically
Exactly.
are. That's not who God designed you to be. So He wants you to have that servant heart. Like my daughter's like that. You don't know how to say no. You're always doing too much. My kids are always complaining. But I'm like, I realize I'm wired this way.
Mhm.
But now I just gotta set boundaries around it. But I'm not gonna stop being a servant leader.
Yeah.
Like this is who I am.
Yeah.
And so my daughter would be like, you can always find the good in anybody or anything. She always tells me. So I honor
There's
you
one
for
exception
having
to
that.
that.
Yeah, so I
Trump.
honor you for having that servant heart,
Yeah.
because it's
So
needed
beautiful.
out here in the world. There's so much darkness. So having that servant heart is a beautiful thing. And that's part of your purpose.
Yes.
Now you just gotta, put little boundaries around it and keep on
Yeah, because
serving.
I thought that was so cute when you said no is a complete sentence.
Yes, two
Even though
words.
I know that is never me, I don't think I would ever. I know that's just not how I'm wired to just be
Yep.
able to just say no
Yes.
and then walk away.
Right,
That
right.
definitely but
Right.
I can figure out to say another way to say no without actually saying those words.
Yeah, and it's hard. I say that's hard too, because I find myself saying, no, I'm not available, or I can't do because of this. And I started giving paragraphs as to ask why. My daughter was like, no, that's too long to say. No, you can't do it. I was like, well, I gotta say why, because if somebody said, I want to know why they can't do it. So I'm learning it as I'm saying it to you. I'm not there either. But
Work in progress.
I'm not starting to say no, and this is why. And before I would just be like, have to go into all these different things. So it's hard, but
It is.
you are this is the first time I've met you, but your spirit is so enlightening.
Yeah.
Like I see the glow, like to be in your presence. People, when they enter your presence, they leave better than before they met you.
Yeah.
Well,
Because
thank you.
You just carry that
For
light
sure.
on you, so keep it shining.
That's
Just
God,
when
I'm
you
telling
get
you.
some
I think
bottles in
being raised in the
there.
church made all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
I
I
know. And
think it does, even now.
Mhm.
I was telling somebody just recently, I was like, you don't understand, our family at Faith Temple, like I feel like none of us have been able to replicate that.
Wow.
Amen.
We
I say
got
that
such
same
great
thing.
teaching. We had such great teaching, and I was telling them about we used to have the 3-day fast and shut in twice a year. And I was like,
Wow.
even as teenagers, we did it. And I was like,
Yeah,
that was like real fast. Now everything is the Daniel fast. And they don't, and I'm just like, what? What? No, you got to do
I
it
think
real
right.
fast. Like, what is
We
that?
lived in the church 3 days a night, no nights, no food, no
No
water,
water.
and we had the
Wow.
best time in the world.
We had the best time.
Yeah,
As teenagers, as kids, we look
yeah,
forward to it. You can't get kids to, what?
yeah. That's how
And
you start
especially
off the
now,
year on that
everybody's,
3-day fast.
when I
Wow.
heard the Daniel fast, I had to go back and research it. I
Yeah,
was
I
like,
did too. I did too. What
you
they
did too?
talking about? Yeah, that
It's
was
like,
that.
what is that? That ain't
Time
no
to
real
come
fast.
here. And it's like we're all like bound. We're still like, it's like we
Yes.
never missed a beat, may not even see each other. And it's like we're still like this.
And
It's
you pick right back up
unreal.
where we left
And it's
off.
just this moment in time that was like a utopia, so to speak. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
come into church, take off my shoes, walking in the door, and leave them
Yeah.
right by the door, front door. And it was a pretty big church. It was
It
great.
was.
Yeah. So
But we did some amazing things. We cut albums, we had concerts,
yeah.
I mean, we did a lot of stuff for young people. I
Yeah.
mean, really, young people really stepping up, and he gave us the latitude, our
To
pastor
do
gave
it.
us the latitude to do it,
Nice.
because most people don't think young people can't do it. So no, he gave us the latitude, and it was done, and it was always done well. Was
Yeah.
always done in excellence, and it was done well.
Mhm.
So I just, oh my God, I just think about that. Yeah. It was just
I think we
wonderful.
all do. We all
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Arthur,
And
Ronnie, we get together. We're always talking about the fact that everybody leaves, and then once you leave, it's like you can never ever
you,
be, I guess, grounded anymore because
right.
it just
Mhm.
never is going to be that time ever.
Yeah.
I just can't ever see it happening again.
I can't either. I mean, we used to, because we traveled to Kansas City a lot, so we were on the bus together. Oh my God, all the things we did on the bus and singing. So, oh my God, it was crazy, but it
Slave.
was wonderful. It
Yeah.
was wonderful. And this one song we used to sing, everybody hated to sing it, but when we would sing it, the spirit would fall every single time. Remember Saved? The
Yeah,
song,
I remember
yes,
that.
because it was like a slower, long drawn out song. We're like, oh, let's sing that song. But whenever we sung it, we knew that the spirit was going to fall, and we would all be laid out. I mean, it's just crazy. But
Yeah, it
but
was.
Gene, like I said, I was so excited about this because you've done so much over the course of the years, and you have just really, like, I admire you so much, and I've always looked up to you. We did, Coeta was one of our second, third guests, and she talked about being a caregiver for her parents.
Yeah.
And I think that really, really that resonated with so many people. So do you want to talk a little bit about that and how you all were able, because you moved them from Omaha to Texas, and you and your husband just took care of them.
Wow.
And
Yeah, you
that's
know what?
amazing because people don't do that. I mean, other cultures do it, but we are pulling away from that more and more, and it shouldn't be,
Yeah,
you
you know
know.
what? That was something that I wouldn't change it for the world. It was hard. It was the last year of their life. It was 6 weeks that I wasn't in a hospital with one of them. And sometimes one would be on one floor in the hospital, the other one would be in the other. But that ain't the big story. The big story is learning to be an advocate for your parents
Yes,
or for
yes.
whomever you're taking care of. I remember I used to, because I gave my job, whenever they would give my prescriptions or one of those things, and it didn't
Mhm.
seem like they were acting like or something was wrong, I would always research it. So I'm calling the doctors back. Yeah, I looked this up. And I'm not sure that goes with this. And they'll give you some excuse. Yeah, but if you think that, I'll change it to this. But no, I knew that they shouldn't have been giving them because some of
Right.
the medicines, they conflict with each other. But that wasn't even
Yep.
just it. It was other things like being a caregiver. At the end of the day, they always try to, they love to talk hospice. Oh, it's time for hospice.
Yes.
And I got them to the point where I told them one time, I was sitting in the room and they had the nerve to ask me if they could talk to my dad. And as they start talking to him and says, "Do you want to be a burden on your family?" I said, "Excuse me, excuse me." And I'm like, "No, no, no, sir." And I said, "Can we step out the room?" And I stepped out the room and I told him, "No, we won't have this conversation. If he wants to come here 50,000 times, I'm going to bring him 50,000
Yeah.
times. And when he gets
Wow.
ready to go to hospice, we'll call you. You don't need to ask us one time." So they didn't, I guess they didn't like, because I'm always with them. So they put something on the chart. So they always come in the room. "Oh, are you his
Yes.
whatever?" So then one lady had she came and said, because she talked to my parent to talk to him, and I said, "Yeah, but can we step out first?" I said, and I don't think she knew it. I'm trying to think of the words I used with her. I said, uh, "Oh, it was something about if it goes south." I said, You're welcome to talk to him, but I'm gonna tell you this. Uh, if you say the wrong thing, you're not going to be happy." It was something that they didn't know what it meant. It was meaning if it goes south, you're not going to be happy. It's something I don't remember what it was, but I put the fear of that lady life. She walked in there and she said, "Mr. Coleman, how have you been doing today? You fine?" She walked out. And I don't cuss. I don't talk down to you, but I'm a set the record straight. But what I learned is to be an advocate. That at
Yes.
the end of their lives, I don't have a nursing degree or nothing. I'm
Yes.
administering IVs. I'm calling the shots on what medicine. A lot of times I
Yes.
thought I overdosed my dad, like he would gain weight or lose, like because I'm giving him these shots and stuff. I'm pretty good at calling
Right.
that, engaging it. And then my husband said, "Gene, that's why they call it the practice of medicine." And the doctors, when I call them, they always say that I did something that they wouldn't have even done, the way I thought. But it was hard, it was challenging. And at the very end, let me tell you what it means to be an advocate. One of the doctors, I had gotten my dad all kinds of things, that some new technology where it was actually not a defibrillator or the other one, but it was some other thing that they wired around his heart. And his cardiologist said, when Daddy was toward the end of his life, he said, "When you asked me to do that," because I researched it, and he was the head of the cardiologist section at the hospital. He said, "When you asked me, I'm in that surgery thinking, what am I doing? He's 80 some years old. He's alive, whatever." And he said, "It was because of your village. My brothers and sisters came." And he said, "I've never in the history of practicing seen
Yes.
every grandkid, kid, nieces, nephews, but and I worked all my nieces, my kids. It got to the point where they said, 'Hey, on Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, we off. We'll take it from there. Y'all go do something. Y'all go somewhere.'"
Yes.
And to have that village, and it comes
Yeah.
to how you were raised. My
Yeah.
Yes.
family is six of us. Everybody. It was not one, two. It
Right.
wasn't a 2-week period that one of them didn't travel here to be here to
Yes.
help me out. And that having that village, and it was something that most people don't have. My husband, he
It's
ain't got
true.
that village like I got. But I
Right.
can tell you, taking care of them, you got to be an advocate. And the last thing
Yes.
about it is his primary care physician. She was one of those major hospice people. And at the end, she says to me, she said, "I admired how you fought for your parents. I just pray my kids do the same thing." I said, "Oh, I'm not aware. I'm sure they will." But in my mind, I was thinking, well, if the way you been, if that
This
hospice
is how you.
stuff, I'm not sure about that. I'm gonna give you the benefit of
Put the
maybe
doubt.
they see past it, but I'm cut it off there because that was another long little echo.
No, that's good. I think it's really important to be an advocate for them and to speak up for them because they really want to push all this other different stuff, and you won't know anything about it.
Unless you
You have
research,
to.
you have to. You
Yes, you
gotta
have
be,
to.
and you gotta be on them. I would quit a
Yes,
doctor fast. They go and I thought they were condescending or saying something.
yes.
I'm out of here because it's too many good
Mhm.
doctors out there to waste my time with somebody that's on the border.
Yes, yes, yes.
And then
That's
another thing
absolutely.
is research. I made sure I got
Yes,
them the best of the best, every doctor. Every
yeah,
doctor was the best of the best. I would look them
yes,
up, and whatever it took me to get to those doctors, I got them to them.
yes. Nice. That was, I mean, amazing, amazing. But they deserved it. Your parents were wonderful.
They really
I
did. They really
remember,
did.
I hope you don't mind. I'm gonna tell the story. I remember they said Jean came home late one time.
I always came
He
home
was
late.
and one time, so you came home late and your parents was up. They was waiting for you. You was trying to sneak in, and
But
your
they
mother
always
was
was up waiting.
your father was whooping and your mama was yelling. He didn't, yeah, he was a man of few words, so he wasn't gonna, but he was gonna take care of that while she was.
Yeah, he said very few things, but that guy, when Lonnie and I was dating, midnight come, he's sitting on the couch. He just walked
Yeah.
down, sit on the couch, don't say a word, just sit right with us. Lonnie said, "Well, I guess it's time to go. I guess so." Oh, sorry.
Oh my God. Yes, they were amazing. They were amazing. How would you title this chapter of your life right now?
Oh, I came up with so many titles for this chapter in my life, but I think is finding myself. Finding myself. What, I gotta find just I'm finding myself. I know my flaws. I just gotta
Yeah,
figure out how to deal with it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Finding yourself. That's a good one. I
Finding
think, so,
myself.
both my parents are gone, so I find myself trying
And
to
you look just like your
redefine.
mother. I'm just like looking at your mother talking to you. Hairstyle and all.
Oh
Smile,
God.
everything. I'm serious. It's like I'm talking to your
Wow.
mom,
Thank
Sister
you.
Cass.
Thank you. Yeah. It just we don't always, I think back and like once they're gone, once your parents are gone, it's like that covering. So then I feel like you have to redefine yourself, your life for some reason. That's how I see it. Like I have to restructure myself because I don't have that. It just was about having a covering, because your parents were there and they would always somehow look out for you for whatever. And so I found myself having to do that. And so I think, they've been gone now 4 years. So like every 2 years, I feel like this is one of the years that I'm like, okay, have I progressed since the last 2 years and where have I redefined myself and trying to make sure, almost to the point of living up to an expectation to make sure that I'm covering my children.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Does that make sense? Yeah, yeah. Just crazy. And love is what to you?
I think it's enduring, it's
Mm,
accepting, it's love is one of those words that we say it all the time. What
mm,
does it really mean? That was a
yeah.
good question, Jackie. Because
Thank you.
it means so many different things to so many different people. But
Yes.
I think it's kind of acceptance. You love people for who they are,
Yeah.
not for what you want them to be, and
Mm,
accepting people for where they are in life, and realizing that we are all a product of how we were raised, what our
yeah.
environment was, what we've been
Yeah.
exposed to. So
Yeah.
people are different, and because they're different, it's not necessarily a bad thing. I think
Hmm.
differences can be good, and I'll give you
Yes.
why I say that. My old company, I did diversity training and all of that. And the
Mm,
worst thing to me is having everybody on your team that are yes sayers. They don't
mm.
challenge you. They think like you. If we're all thinking alike, we ain't gonna have the best product. Every
No,
time
Absolutely.
it's with this one friend of mine, she is a total. negative on everything on the world. But
And
every time I
Nancy.
have a product I'm trying to launch, I always get her opinion. Because if I can satisfy her, I can satisfy the world. That's how but she don't know that's why I put her on the thing, but that is the reason. And she is not shy. She's gonna tell you, she's gonna be brutally honest. But at the end of the day, if she brings up the stuff that nobody else thinks about, you're gonna be good. You're gonna
Yeah,
be good.
yeah. Because it takes all kinds. It takes all
Yeah.
kinds. And it's amazing. What is your definition of success?
You know what? I think it's just moving forward. If you move forward, if you going forward, you're successful because you move forward. It's only when we keep
Yes,
looking back and going backwards, but moving forward is success. It's,
Yes.
and not just people think of success mostly as the financials, the money. I didn't arrived, I got all this stuff. But that is, you can be so unhappy and you may be successful as far as in one little bucket, but are you
Yeah.
successful? And I even measure my friends. I got friends that all they think about is money. They don't think about helping nobody else in the world. Even family members, whenever I see that, and I know I got people that do this, but I'm going to say it anyway. I'm like, when people be just on the selfies all day long, every day, I'm like, what a wasted life. All my
yeah,
life is trying to look glamorous, looking at myself in the mirror. All the things in life you can be doing for somebody else, and you choose to spend your life. And now I ain't saying a selfie here and there. I'm not saying that, but it's
Mhm.
just people that are just that's all they do.
Yeah.
247 is. Oh, I'm
yes.
just like you ain't even that cute to me. I honestly, I just think that's just superficial. That's
Yeah,
gonna go away. But what have you
Yeah.
done for other people? What
Yeah.
organizations? How have you helped somebody? So if you haven't helped anybody and everything is about you, I don't even really like you. I shouldn't say it like that, and that's being really
Yeah.
blunt. But I don't. It's not that I don't. I have something to get. I just think that your life, what are you doing with your life? Your
yeah,
life is just about you, and it can be just about you and your family. Your life is about what have you done for somebody that's not your family, because
right.
that's your family and everybody. That's your reasonable service. That's what you're
Yeah.
supposed to be
Like that.
doing. But what do you do for other people? And that's how I look at life. If I just see you just all about yourself, you don't I'm not looking up to you. I don't think you great. I don't really have, I don't have any words pretty much. Is you just selfish. Your life is about you. Just live for you. You be you, you do
Right.
you. But let me do what I need to do. But that's why so many people are tired, including me, because there's a few people that try to
Right.
do all of it and other people can spread it. We can do more for other people, but we don't do that. And that, I'm blunt. I'm probably, but it's how I feel about people. It's
That's
y'all
true.
don't do nothing but for anybody but yourself and you and your family.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Mhm.
it's times in your life where you just got to focus on your family when they're young and all of that. But when you got that free time and you can go to the show, drag some neighbors down the street that got parents that are working or a single mom, you can take them with you. You can bring them over your house. So I don't even want to hear you complaining about how bad some mother is. Well, that mother may stay bad, but what can you do to fix the problem? That's how I look at it. So success to me is measured about pretty much what you do for other people, not just yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I like that.
Very well said.
Very well said. Give me 3 to 4 words to describe yourself.
Y'all see me. This is who I am. I'm pretty direct. I'm focused. I'm really passionate about what I'll do. For just everything. If I'm doing it, I'm going to be passionate about it. But that's basically it. It's not that much about me other than just who I am.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's good. I
Only
mean,
other line I
because so
wanted
many
you to
people
talk.
look up to you.
Oh, well, thank you. The two things that you probably wasn't going to ask me that was on the thing is, um, what would I say to my younger self or whatever, some of
Yes.
those know.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
wasn't that so much. It's coming up, we deal with a lot of adversity. All of us live with adversity. And we always try to find out where we fit in. And I always tell my kids, my grandkids, that at the end of the day, if you're trying to, excuse me, if you're trying to be like everybody else, who's going to be who God wanted you to be? Be who
Yeah.
yourself, be yourself, and be unapologetic about it. As long as you're treating people with dignity and respect.
Yes.
I wrote my
Yes.
kids a letter because I tried to make them conform. And let me tell you what I mean by that. When we were young, we always, as Black people, was always, we got to be better. You got to dress a
Yes.
certain way. But when you do that, you peel away from who that person really is. If
Yes.
they choose to wear something that it ain't like showing everything, if
Right.
it's respectful looking in my mind, let them. Yeah, don't all these, let them be who they are. God
Right.
created us to be different. And
Different.
if we're trying to be like everybody else, is what I tell them, who's going to be who
Hmm.
God made you to be? And then I
Yes.
always tell them another thing is, look beyond what's in front of you. We see the glam and you see the glory, but
Hmm.
look down the road, because what's in front of you ain't always the best thing for you. Just because it looks good to you, it may not be good for you. You
For
got to
you.
be able to think down the road. Look beyond what it is that you see. What are the ramifications? What are the good? What are the bad? What is the good, the bad, the
Hmm.
indifferent? And those are the things that I think it works. If you just look beyond what's in front of you every single time, don't be short sighted. Don't take the best
Yes.
deal because it's the best money right now, because it may not always pay off. So
Right.
that, it's more, but I did want to answer those questions. I want to just make people think that, hey, we don't have to always I wouldn't say conform, I should say, to what others do.
Right.
Be who we are. Be who
Right.
we are.
That's true.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Um, what your greatest challenges is in life, and how did you overcome them?
You know what? Honestly, I thought about that. And because I was smart. I had got good
Yes.
grades. I never had any real issues until I moved from Omaha to Texas. Racism. Racism
Uh,
is everywhere you go. Even my company. Here it is. I got tons of degrees. I didn't go over all the other kind of degrees and stuff. I'll get in a class and I'm training people how to avoid lawsuits, and they always want to challenge you. It's like, and I'm good at that. I'm
mm,
good at look beyond before that question. What I do there
mhm.
is when they come up with a question, first person try it on me. I'll think, well, oh, that's an interesting response. I said, well, how would that work in this scenario? It's an unworkable scenario, I'll give them. And then it
Yeah.
sets them up. Yeah, because it doesn't work, and I'm good at
Man.
that. Another challenge is I have different people working for me. And one guy Jewish, and this is with Legal Watch. And everywhere we would go, it was always like we in United. It was Continental at the time. I'm the elite one, but he'll go, he's with me. They'll never ask him if he's supposed to be in the line. They always ask me, are you this? And I'm
Mm,
like, I'm standing here, am I? Now, I don't
mm,
take that. I'm here. I'm here. Is there any reason you asked me and I am? Because
yeah.
he told me, he said, I always thought about racism. Black people always said, he said, until I started working for you, I never even really could have appreciated. And then I had this other guy that's British, and he said he's closing a deal, and he asked if they wanted to meet me, and I came, and everything was fine. I thought the guy came out of his office, he started walking toward us, and he just turned around, and I'm trying to figure out, I figured he got a call or something,
Mhm.
not thinking nothing whatsoever. And then about 25, almost 30 minutes, his secretary came out and says, yeah, they're not going to be able to do that or something. I'm like, I was like dumbfounded. Is what happened just really happened? And he said the same thing. I drove home speechless, and
Wow.
I'm telling you, racism is real. You can
Yes.
deal with it. How have I been
Mhm.
able? I haven't. I can't even say I've really how overcome it. It's there. I know how to deal
Yeah.
with it, but
Yeah.
I'm not overcomer.
Right. Right.
But
It's
it's
hard.
real. It's
Mhm.
real. It's
It is.
real. If that
Mhm.
election didn't show you, nothing will.
Yes, yes. And Gina's she's very active in the political scene.
Okay.
She's hosted President Biden and a few others. I mean, she's very active in the political
Nice.
scene.
Yeah.
So, and you were working in Memphis, right, during the election and doing some things
I've always
for
worked elections.
Kamala.
That's always been me. All my
Yeah.
life, I've worked elections, and you know. And another thing that maybe one day y'all talk about is politics. Politics
Mhm.
is in everything you do.
It
And whether
is.
you know it or not, it can impact your life in ways you never imagined. And I
Yeah.
never understood it. I did it because it was always fighting for a cause. But the
Yes.
impact of politics and politicians, I can't, I gotta say that, what word do I want to use? It's priceless. That's what I'm gonna say.
Mhm.
It is priceless.
Wow.
The doors it opens,
Mhm.
and Black people, a lot of us don't even take advantage of it. But it's so much that then happened because of politics. My husband was a lobbyist in DC for
Yes.
years, and I learned from that how doors are open, how you think that it's an even playing field, but it's not.
It's,
If
it's
you got politicians, sometimes they can be helpful and they can be harmful, but get
Mhm.
involved, understand the system, go to city council meetings, make
yes.
people sure people know who you are. It makes a
Mhm.
difference. That is a whole nother thing for y'all. So I'm gonna just shut up there because it's just so many different facets to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell you, you just have lived an amazing life, and been active. And then before we go, I want to talk about crime on crime, and make sure that we put out where you can get the game, where the website
Yeah,
and
that's
everything,
my baby.
because I
And
think
I'm
that
gonna give
is
y'all
amazing.
example. I'm gonna ask you all some questions, two questions, and I'm gonna
Okay,
tell you that we were very intentional with this game. And what do I mean by that? It wasn't designed to be a game to be a game. It was designed to be a game to save lives and
education.
have people appreciate the impact of their actions and communications. As I said, we get the call from the parents, the grandparents. It's always, my child's been arrested. They didn't do nothing. They didn't have a gun. They weren't there. They don't understand. So I'll give you two questions: crime or no crime? The game is played like the Family Feud. You got two teams of up to four people per team.
Yeah,
First person up, think of the Family Feud. They only get the question and nobody can answer it but them. If they get that right, their team gets 20 seconds to confer as to what's the most serious thing you can be charged with. If you don't get the most serious thing, team two can steal it. And the reason for that is we wanted people to understand the impacts of their actions. So here we go. Crime, no crime. I'll give you the first question, Cassandra. Running someone off the road who cuts you off in traffic and no one's injured. Is that a crime or no crime? Running, so
ran them off
they
the
cut you
road.
off, you speed up and you run them off the road and y'all
That's a
keep going.
crime.
It's
That's a
definitely a
crime.
crime. Now, that's the easy part. Most people can figure out just listening to looking at the cars whether
Right.
it's a crime or not. Now, what's the most severe thing you think you're gonna get charged with for that? And if you
Uh,
don't get it, Jackie's team can steal it.
okay. Um, if you ran them off the road, that is, trying to think of what it is. Not, it's not attempted murder. That's not what I want to say. It is, what is that? Like when you beat somebody up. Assault.
Assault. Okay. Okay, you say assault. Jackie, you can steal it.
I was thinking in another level, like that's like more like a misdemeanor than like a felon or anything. So, um, oh, I
And in the
don't know.
game, you have sand timers where you would get 20 seconds to answer. So let me give y'all the answer. How about
Yes,
aggravated assault with a deadly
Aggravated
weapon?
assault.
with a
Aggravate
With a
with a
deadly
deadly.
weapon.
deadly weapon. We want the kids to know it's more than your guns, more than your knives. Your gun, I mean, your car. And most people like you think road rage, reckless driving, little misdemeanor, when it's not just not just a felony, it's an aggravated felony at that.
Aggravate.
That's what we
Right.
don't know, what we don't know. Where do we
Right.
learn the law? Now I'm gonna give you one, Jackie. It's a little harder, but okay, serving as lookout for a friend who gets killed by the homeowner as your friend goes in to burglarize the house. So you're the lookout, and all they said is, hey, just text me if you don't do anything because unbeknownst to you, homeowner's there. He kills your friend. Ask the lookout, crime or no crime.
I'm a crime as a lookout.
Absolutely. Now, what's the crime? What are you going to get charged with, Miss Lookout?
Accessory.
Miss 17-year-old lookout, because that's what the age of the kid that did that. You said accessory.
Um, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Cassandra, you can steal it.
Um, you're gonna get charged with what is it? Something murder, because
You got it.
you are
It's
just as
felony
guilty as the person that shot
murder.
him because
No,
you were
that ain't the reason for this one. That ain't the reason, but the answer is felony murder because the
felony
law
murder.
says if during the commission of a felony someone is killed, everybody that participated in that
Um,
felony can be charged with that murder. Let me tell you why it wouldn't be accomplice. Because if your friend would have lived, the most that they could have been charged with is burglary of a habitation. But
okay.
because he died is the reason you're going to get charged with his death. So you're going to get felon murder. You see what I'm
Oh,
saying?
wow.
So
That's deep.
bottom
That's
line,
deep.
that's the calls that we get all the time. And one of those examples, that one was a 17-year-old. It was four boys that went in that house. One of them got killed. Needless to say, when they're interrogating them, their little lookout guy came up and he ended up testifying against them. Another situation, grandma her grandson got arrested. They charged him. He gave them the combination to get into that restaurant where he worked, to get into that safe. So that if that he gets that felony murder too.
Yeah.
And people, I said, when we know better, we do better. And that's the reason for that game, to keep our kids out of the criminal justice system.
Yes.
Um,
Wow.
that
That's
is an
And
eye
the
opener.
the game now for the Black Friday, we have like a Black Friday special on Amazon. It's called Crime No Crime, and it's 37.95. It's normally 49.95, so it's on discount, and it's on a good discount at that. And then it's three
yeah.
for 99, and that was to incentivize people to get them in a bulk and give them to people for Christmas. What better
Yes.
gift? You're talking about $33 to save a life. If you know,
Yes.
especially boys, the families that got
Yes.
boys, every kid that's got family that got a boy in their family needs that game. 13 to 36. And I tell people to go through the cards if your kids on that lower range and pick out the ones you want for them. And if
Mhm.
not, because when I do it again, I'm gonna put it 15, even though there's questions that my grandkids, they know they
Yeah.
know them. We were at one of those trade shows and I was asking one of the questions like I just did y'all.
Yeah.
And one of them, the little 11-year-old, she says, Mama, they didn't say aggravated. But I'm telling you,
That's good.
it depends. I feel like you're never to know learn young to know the law. But you know,
Yeah.
some people they kind of shield the kids a little bit more. Um,
Yes,
all of my kids, they all know. They all know.
yes, yes, yes. That's really
Wow.
But
important.
that
Wow.
That's really important.
You said you
so
can
that
find on
and
Amazon?
yeah, yeah, Amazon, Shopify, but Amazon, if you're gonna do the special, the 3 for 99, you got to get that off of Shopify because Amazon doesn't have the 3 bulk deal.
Okay,
They have the singles, but they don't have 3. You know, they don't have it where you 3 for it. So
Yeah.
you do that on Shopify and just
What's the
use
store
crime, no
name? What's
crime.
your store name on Shopify? What's the store name?
It's crime, no crime. It's the name of the game.
Okay. Okay.
Crime, no crime.
No
And now
crime.
here goes, it says, it looks like this: crime, no crime. There's no game more relevant in this day and time than
Okay.
crime, no crime. Always
Okay.
say, child or life you save may be your own.
Okay.
yes,
That's the
yeah.
game.
I
And it's
Perfect.
think
got
that that's
250 questions. I'm trying to
wow.
open this up. Oh, I
Yeah.
threw you to the floor. This is,
That's
needless to
okay.
say, we played with, but this is the little score sheet.
Okay.
Here are the cards. This is here are the cards, and those are the answers. And then you look at the
Yeah.
back, the red answer, like if somebody names a black answer, but the answer is a red answer, the other
Uh-huh.
team can steal the points if they get the red answer because that's the carrying just carrying a 3-inch knife to a friend's national cemetery burial. Is that a crime to protect yourself from your ex-boyfriend who will likely be there? Is that a crime or not?
Say that again. Protecting yourself from your what?
Ex-boyfriend who will
No,
most
carrying a
likely.
3-inch knife to a friend's national cemetery or burial. Protect yourself from your ex-boyfriend who will likely be there. Crime or no crime?
I think that's a crime. It's a concealed weapon. You're carrying a concealed weapon to someplace that there's not supposed to be because of the because of the length of the weapon. Because if it was
You got
smaller or
it
something
right,
like
but for
that,
the wrong reason, because it's
oh,
a federal facility. Bottom
yeah,
line
that's it.
is,
That's a
it's
yeah.
possession of a dangerous weapon at a federal facility, unlawful possession of a firearm, and then it says it is a crime to carry weapons onto federal property.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that is, you just learn a lot. You can't help but to
Right,
learn
because
something.
that's a little, they think that that's no big deal. I gotta protect myself, I gotta do this, but you
Yeah,
have to
you
be
just,
careful.
yep, you can't
Wow.
have it. So
And,
that's crime, no crime. And
especially
those are
now,
the,
they want to give the police this open field to do whatever it is they want to do. You need to know the law,
yeah,
especially
this is the
now.
box that I got the cards all flowing out. I don't know why. Oh, because this is probably 2 sets of cards. I don't. Nope. They just. This is. Oh, there we go. Here's the little. I don't know if y'all can see it. Needless
Yeah,
to say,
We
we
can see
get
them.
it a lot. Yep.
Yeah.
That's crime, no crime.
yeah,
That's
Okay.
it.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
though.
I want to make sure we got that in. I think it's wonderful.
Thank you
To
for
Thank
add
doing
on
you.
to
that.
her resume, that's what, like 25 pages long, of all the things that
Well,
you've
yeah.
done.
My oldest daughter, as you said, is a judge. Pierre was
Yeah,
a prosecutor, and now she's a public defender as of about a month ago.
oh,
Antoine
wow.
does yeah, Antoine does criminal defense, and Lonnie and I both did corporate law. So that's
Yeah,
the reason, we get the calls from people when they're in trouble. And
Yeah.
most of the time, I would say 99% of the time, is because they don't know the law. They don't know the
yeah,
law. Ignorance of the law is no defense.
Yeah.
But it's 100% reality that's led to the mass incarceration of way too many of our kids.
yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Um,
And we don't know what to do once they get into that situation
yeah.
or who to call.
Amen.
Wow,
Amen. And then
wow.
for you learn much, if we can keep one kid out per game for not doing something, we that's
We
all
do
the worth
good.
it. All
Mhm.
everything is worth it. Just all the trouble and going through this to make this happen.
Yes, yes. Oh my gosh. Jean, I just want to thank you so much.
Well, thank y'all for having me. I appreciate it.
I
I'm
just
sorry
appreciate
for whatever I did that was wrong, but
You didn't. It was wonderful. I see your heart. It's always been there. I mean, I know that's who you are. And, I think when you become that, because Brianna's like, Ma, you don't need to fix this. I said, if I'm going to fix dinner, I'm going to fix dinner. I'm not going to fix just one thing. This is what I do. They don't always understand or
amen.
get it because you give and you do and you want to do your best. I'm not just going to throw anything up. I don't care who it is. I'm going to do my best
Yeah,
and I'm going to do.
mediocrity. That's me. I'm never gonna be mediocrity. That'll never be me. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
If you're
Yes.
gonna do it, do it.
Yes. If you're going to
Show
do it
up.
right to the best of your ability.
Yep. Yes,
Absolutely.
ma'am. Yes,
Oh my God.
that's how we were raised. Ain't that something? That's
Yes.
Elder
Elder
everything.
Richardson.
If
And that was
you're
so
gonna be
funny
a
because her mother,
best garbage person you can be.
yes,
Be the best
they
at
lived
whatever
across
you
the
gonna
street
do.
from the Hells Angels. And so it was always so funny because her mom, she gonna pray for him, and she gonna get to talking in tongue, and she lived right across the street from the Hells Angels back in the
That
day.
right down 3 doors down.
Yep. I mean,
Yep.
but she would talk to him too, and she would tell him about the Lord. Sister
Yep. And
Coleman,
then
oh
buy
my
them
God.
something, take them food, whatever.
Yep, she would. Yeah, she just look, my God is he made me who I am, and I'm gonna live it, and I'm gonna live it 100%. I'm not gonna half step. I'm not gonna take it, bits and pieces. I'm gonna live it, no matter who you are, and
Amen.
that's
And I
just
dropped all these
amazing.
cards I'm picking up. So in any event, I appreciate y'all a lot, and I hope I said something that resonates with somebody somewhere.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for taking
Thank
the time to
you.
speak with us. Thank
I
you
really
for all
appreciate
the
it.
work that you do, and you are a
Well,
blessed
thank you.
woman. Yes. So
Tell Lonnie I said hi.
I will do that. I'm about to go relieve him now. I'll take
Yes.
over for him because he helped me out for this one because I didn't realize the time difference at the time. So it's all good.
tell them we said thank you.
Yes. And
Have a
Thank
blessed
y'all.
day.
Thank y'all
Thank
very
you.
much.
Okay.
Have a
Take
blessed
care.
day. Just a
You
little
too. You
longer.
too.
How about that?
Yes.
No problem.
All right.
Take care. Love y'all.